ahead by 1 over Lynchburg. Christian to defend. Breeden wants straight. Down on the end line. Tied up 11-all. Apologies for some technical difficulties. We welcome you back inside Wayne Profit Court. 12-11 in the first set. Dabby Leeper at the service line, looking to stretch the Hornets' advantage. Sent right to Sokolow. Up from Hefner, miscommunication, and no one for the Generals, plays it over on the third. 13-11. And to speak to how back and forth it's been, this 2-point advantage is the largest lead we've seen from either team in the first set. Breeden set for Bryce, and off the arm of Sokolow it goes. Make it a 3-point Lynchburg lead. And a timeout called by 22nd-year head coach Brian Snyder. The crowd is rocking on a code red night inside Turner Gymnasium. Generals and Hornets, all time it's been a series dominated by Washington and Lee. 38-4 all time against Lynchburg. And playing here on the campus of the University of Lynchburg, the Generals are 13-2. The Hornets looking to turn that around today. They've won 5 straight against Lynchburg. Last time the Hornets were able to get the best of Washington Lee came all the way back in 2016. Last win before that, 2010. Last win before that, 2000. So it has certainly been a one-sided affair between these two teams. Washington Lee picked to win the ODAC, presumed to be one of the best teams inside the conference. Lynchburg on the other side picked to finish 5th in that preseason poll, did get a first-place vote. And Coach Hannah Gibbons in her second year at the helm for the Hornets, looking to turn this series history around. And a great crowd on hand tonight. And a 3-point advantage in the first set will certainly go a long way to trying to pick up the first win over Washington Lee since 2016. But it starts by winning a set, and the last time Lynchburg did that against Washington Lee was 2018. Guard forced to set up on the near side. Looked like Hefner taking the hit. Leeper misses on the near sideline. It's now 14-12. Ashley Webb will serve. 19 aces on the year for Webb, junior from California. Sent right to Drake. Breeden sets up Bryce and gets the point for the Hornets. Roll shot from Bryce executed perfectly. Lynchburg back ahead by 3. Bryce now has the honors to serve. Laying out. Well played initially by Sokolow, but then Drake right at the net. Sends it down. Hornets up by 4. Hefner has it deflected at the net. Breeden sets up for Drake. She's denied. Breeden this time tries. Emma Drake succeeds. (17-12) your score in the first set. 5 points, the largest advantage we've seen in the first set for either side. Webb back sets for Allstet. Breeden with Leeper sending it back towards the 5. Hefner sends it over on the 3rd. Walton with authority has it ricochet off the arms of Sokolow and out of play it goes. Another timeout called by Coach Brian Snyder. And you can hear it. The crowd is infectious tonight. Giving Lynchburg all the energy they need and then some. 6-point lead, the biggest we've seen in the first set. Coach Brian Snyder in his 22nd season. 560 wins in his career to 175 losses. And talk about his ODAC record. 208 wins to 19 losses. That's a win percentage of 91.6. Unreal win percentage inside conference play. And Washington Lee, under the Snyder tenure, has won 13 ODAC titles, making the NCAA tournament the same amount of times, and he has won Coach of the Year 10 different occasions, including last year, a 16-0 overall record, 11-0 in conference play season. Snyder won Coach of the Year, and Washington Lee won the ODAC. There was no NCAA tournament. So Coach Snyder in his 22nd season. On the other side, Coach Hannah Gibbons in her second. First as the full-time head coach. Last year she had the interim label on the front end. She has certainly earned the status as the head coach of this Lynchburg program, and then she has the Hornets up by 6 coming out of the timeout. Bryce will return to the service line. Attacks Sokolow. Webb sets up. Hefner hits. Breeden lays out but can't get to it. Big point in response for the Generals. Ends a 4-0 Lynchburg run. Sydney Hefner to serve. Sends it to Drake. Skies it into the rafters. Breeden back to Drake. Denied. And in it stays. Close across that far sideline. Generals cut it to a 4-point deficit. Sent to Leeper. Breeden sets. Walton hits. Deflected off the ceiling. Sometimes it pays to be lucky. Hornets up 19-14. Maya Green checks back in and will serve. 18 aces on the season. She'll get one more. Sent right to the libero, Caroline Guard. The junior can't pick it up. First team all ODAC last year. First ace of the match for Lynchburg. Webb to Sokolow. Christian lays out. Walton does too and gets it over. Green gets an arm on it. Webb back and just perfectly placed on the end line. Carson Alstead gets the 15th point of the first set for Washington and Lee. 5-point deficit for the Generals. McSwain to serve, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Leeper to Green, the slide. Rucker gets the point for Lynchburg. Overtime, Sophia Rucker has had her role expand match by match. Hometown product, freshman from Lynchburg, Virginia, has a big role on her plate now. Jordan Bartemeyer checking in, serves. Sent to the 5. Alstead sends it into the net. Hornets 3 points away from taking the first set. Service error from Bartemeyer. Keeps the door open for the Generals. But they'll need a big run. Gonna rely on Allie Buchholz to start up that run. She's back to the line. Receiving error from Christian, that'll help. Washington and Lee back down by 5 once again. Eighth of the year for Buchholz. Green sets for Horner. This is long across the back line. Timeout called by Coach Gibbons. And it's a spot where once you get to 20, it's a race to 25. Can you do it quick? Can you do it in dominating fashion? That's a good sign to carry that momentum into the next set. But after getting ahead 22-16, the Generals get a couple points, and Coach Gibbons calls the timeout, trying to resettle this game. And really, with this big of a crowd, it's not so much put momentum at an equilibrium as opposed to get it back to where it was throughout the entirety of this first set, other than maybe that 3-0 run that Washington and Lee went on to make it 6-3 Generals over the Hornets. That feels like a long time ago now. Of course, Hornets up by 4 at 22-18. Now coming out of the timeout, Coach Gibbons can settle her group down, have them get back on track. 3 points away from taking the first set. It'll be the first set Lynchburg has taken from Washington and Lee since 2018. Coach Snyder still talking to his team. Talked about his accolades. Coach Gibbons, the grad assistant for being a head coach. Also played 4 years at Wingate University. Helped the Bulldogs reach the D2 National Quarterfinal in her senior season. One of our assistant coach, Treslin Ortiz, played with Coach Gibbons at Wingate. Playback underway with Buchholz to serve. Sent to Christian. Bartemeyer takes the second. Leeper takes the hit, sent right to guard. Webb, Sokolow. Leeper right there in the right spot. Rucker, softly played. From the back line, a strike. Horner sends it over on the second. Another strong hit from Hefner. Horner again plays it over on the second. What a play, Maya Green, all over it on the defensive side. Webb feeds Blaine, and Washington and Lee makes it a 3-0 run. A long rally results in another point for the Generals. This is the type of rally you needed if you're a Generals fan. Still down by 3. Christian there to defend. Green feeds Leeper. Webb, Sokolow. Deflected at the net and out of play it goes. Point goes to Washington and Lee, in the first set continues to grow more and more interesting as time passes. Dug up by Bartemeyer. Well played by Horner, pushes it towards the back far side corner. It barely keeps it in. Doesn't lift, but as opposed to taking the full swing, taps it towards that far side end and gets the point back for Lynchburg, snapping the 4-0 run. They'll say it got down on the near sideline. Another kill from Sokolow. 2-point deficit for Washington and Lee. And Sokolow will serve. Right at Bartemeyer. Green for Leeper. Blocked. And it hangs up on the net. Point goes to Lynchburg. Set point. And Taylor Breeden will look to close it out. Nicole Price checks in with Breeden. The sophomore sends it over. Webb wants Hefner, but she's in the net. For the first time since 2018, Lynchburg has taken a set from Washington and Lee and lead the match 1-0. This place is jumping. We'll step aside and come back with the second set between the Hornets and the Generals, coming to you on LHSN.
When you come to the University of Lynchburg to earn a master's degree in athletic training, you'll spend time in the classroom, but you'll also spend a lot of time in our top-notch facilities, learning from athletic trainers and working closely with our student athletes. In the Graduate Cadaver Lab, you'll learn about the human body in the best way possible, by actually studying the human body. This will provide a foundation to make you a much better athletic trainer. In the athletic training laboratory, you'll get hands-on experience, practicing your skills, applying concepts from the classroom, and working with faculty on research projects. It's also where our hydrotherapy facilities are. This space is also used by students for studying and practicing skills outside of class time. In the Sports Medicine Clinic in Turner Gymnasium, you'll work with student athletes from more than 20 NCAA Division III sports teams, helping get them back to practice and into the game as soon as possible. As an athletic training student, you're a big part of the success of our sports teams and the success of the local athletic teams. We see this relationship as a win-win situation. You learn, and that helps us win.
I was looking for a school that could provide me with the athletics, academics to pursue my career, a wind symphony to pursue my passion for music, and really have a nice general atmosphere. The professors here are really unique, their background and their passion for teaching. It's really a place where you can explore. Lynchburg gives you the opportunity to fail, but also get back up in that period of time and learn from your mistakes. I can make these mistakes within the school environment, but also with the support of other friends, and be ready for the real world when you graduate.
Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. Wayne Profit Court, the site for a battle between the Hornets and the Generals. Lynchburg, for the first time since 2018, takes a set over Washington lead and lead this match 1-0. Joining us now, Aaron Farina. Aaron, you were down courtside. What were your big takeaways from the first set?
I think the biggest takeaway that I had is Lynchburg's energy right now is insane. I mean, they are stoked to be out here. They have such a great attitude out on the floor, and I mean, right now that's the difference for them.
Certainly has made a big impact early on in this one. Will it carry into the second set? We'll find out. We'll check in with you after the second set comes to a close. Thank you, Aaron. Lynchburg will serve. Taylor Braden at the service line. She was at the same spot when Lynchburg was able to get the final point of the first set. Webb sets up Blaine. The Generals get the opening point of the second set. Blaine, second team all-conference last year, a senior from West Palm Beach, Florida. Hands it over to Caroline Guard, who will serve. Sent to Leeper. Breeden will set up Leeper. Block got up, but off the arms of Hefner it goes. And Lynchburg ties it up 1-all. Sokolow comes in from the back line. Breeden feeds straight, Tool on the block. 2-1 Hornets. And if you were wondering, the last time the Hornets took 2 sets from Washington Lee, it was in that victory over the Generals back in 2016, taking that match in 5 sets. Serve misses long, service error ties it up, 2-all. Serve comes from Webb. Christian trying to feed Walton. And this is well wide of the far sideline. So Webb back out to the service line. 516 assists already this year. Second in the ODAC in assists per set, 10.12. Receiving error from Christian, into the net it goes. Drake able to get it over on the third. Hefner winds, fires, dug up by Breeden. And after having it ricochet in the rafters, Lynchburg able to play it over. Hefner not denied this time. Instead, the Generals move ahead 4-2. And that's the combination. Webb feeding Hefner. 191 kills entering tonight's match for Hefner. Webb with a service error. So Nicole Bryce takes over. 6'1" freshman from North Chesterfield, product of James River High School. Dug up by guard. Breeden sets up Walton, and with authority, slams it home to tie it up 4 apiece in the second set. Walton getting more playing time with no Paige O'Donnell and no Princess Salafu. Salafu out with an injury. And Walton, with the more opportunities she's gotten, her play has just risen to the occasion. Not the best pass. After receiving the serve, and Webb couldn't get it out of the net. Lynchburg takes the lead for the first time in the second. Bryce looking to keep the rally alive. Leaper for Drake. Guard sends it over too hard, and Horner tried to slam it down, felt destined to get the point. Instead, Washington and Lee digs it up. And the shot from Walton, they'll say deflected, and will give the point to the Hornets. Otherwise, the shot had missed long. But the far side official confirming it was tipped at the net. Lynchburg ahead by 2. Bryce stays at the service line. Alstead, dug up by Leaper. Walton finds the opening on the near sideline. And that's been the thing for Walton. It hasn't just been hitting the ball hard and keeping it to the near sideline. She'll be doing it, attack the net, tooling the block, near sideline, cross court. Tapped off the tape. Generals can't get it over. Lynchburg doubling up Washington and Lee, 8-4. Wayward pass from Sokolow. Sokolow gets it over on the third. Passing error from Leaper. Bryce lays out. Walton denied initially. Lynchburg resets. Breeden, back set. Drake. Hitting error into the net it goes. That ends a long run for Lynchburg. Hefner serves, sends it right to Walton. Drake takes the hit. Guard sets up Sokolow from the back line. Breeden wants her middle Horner. On the third, Sokolow gets it over. Christian and Walton plays it over on the third. Long rally. Sokolow gets the point for Washington and Lee. Breeden shows a lot of hustle, lays out, about a step away from being able to cover the necessary ground. So Hefner will serve again. First in the ODAC in kills, third in kills per set. Dug up by Leaper. Breeden wants Horner. Deflected, 2 touches, but Lynchburg can't keep it alive. 3-0 run for the Generals. Serve again goes right at Abby Leaper. Walton takes the hit, dug up by Hefner. Sokolow, roll shot. Walton's right there. Drake denied. And no one for Lynchburg able to get a hand on it. So a big block for Washington and Lee makes it a 4-0 run for the Generals. Hefner this time to Walton. Breeden tries to set up Walton. Ricocheted off the block and down it falls. 9-8 Lynchburg moves ahead. Drake checks out. Maya Green comes on in her spot. Breeden also get the chance to catch her breath. Sophia Rucker comes on in her place. Hefner for Sokolow. Hefner not with a whole lot of assists this year. That'll be her 10th. Another point earned by Val Sokolow. Washington and Lee able to get the point right back. Maggie McSwain to the line. Softer approach from Walton. She's been hammering it down, and you can see Washington and Lee on the defensive side taking a step back, bracing for a big swing in their direction, but instead Walton with the proper adjustment. Little roll shot, put Lynchburg ahead by 1. Jordan Bartemeyer will serve. Right at Hefner. Webb sets up Blaine. Whistle blown. It'll be a double to go against Lynchburg. Hornets faithful voicing their displeasure. We're tied up 10 apiece in the second set. Lynchburg, if you're missing it, took the first set, 25-21. Dug up by Christian. Receiving error. Easy point for Katie Blaine. Now a timeout called by Coach Givens. At one point it was 8-4 Lynchburg. Then a 4-0 run for the Generals, excuse me. Tied it up, and it's been back and forth since, but it feels like momentum has gone to the side of Washington and Lee. So it's really interesting to see how these coaches use timeouts in these as a way to try to get momentum back on your side, especially when you're aided by such a big crowd on hand. This Code Red game, as well as it being Cystic Fibrosis Night, has put on a huge attendance here at Wayne Prophet Court. So you're already playing with a leg up if you're the home team, with a big crowd, a lot of energy on your side. So really when you're calling a timeout, it's not necessarily getting it back to an even point. It's more so letting the momentum go to the side for Washington and Lee and getting this match back to where it is. Really, it's 60-40 advantage, or somewhere thereabout, for Lynchburg. So a timeout called by Coach Gibbons. Her team now back on the court. And Coach Brian Snyder has been doing it a long time, 22 years. Before that was the head coach at St. Mary's of Maryland, going 41-25 there. Was also an SID, Sports Information Director. So handled the things that went on the website, press releases, relationships with local newspapers and news stations, things of that nature. Once the daily routine for Coach Brian Snyder. Playback underway. Leaper just catches the end line. About as close as it could get. The end line official says it was down. Tied up 11-all. Flint Christian to serve. Senior from Columbia, South Carolina. Sokolow, right to Leaper. Green will set up the junior. Dug up by guard. Sokolow tries again, right to Bartemeyer. Green for Rucker, trying to go cross court. Washington Lee can't get it over on the third. A couple of really nice plays initially. But with players already occupying the space where the ball is slowly coming down, gravity gets the best of Washington and Lee. Lynchburg back ahead by 1. Christian sends it to the 5. Sokolow has it dug up by Christian again. Leaper tipped up in the net. A battle between Bryce and Webb. Bryce the victor. Lynchburg ahead 13-11. You talk about the impact the freshman Nicole Bryce has had. It has been tremendous. Christian, again goes at Sokolow. Sokolow taking the hit. Green, back set for Rucker. Goes finesse with the shot. Blaine takes the hit. Receiving error from Bartemeyer. Cuts the deficit down to 1 for Washington in lead. Over their last 3 matches, so 3-match win streak for Washington in lead, they'd only dropped 1 set during that duration. And they find themselves down 1 set to none in the early goings tonight. A missile coming from Abby Leeper. We're accustomed to seeing her playing out on the far side or the near sideline, this time playing towards the middle of the court. And a ferocious swing, tough play to be made by Allie Buchholz. Hornets up by 2, looking to go on a run. They send Taylor Breeden to the service line. Serve goes at Sokolow. That's where Lynchburg's been going all night long. Jump ball the net. Breeden for Drake. Right to Sokolow. Dug up by Breeden. Nice play. Bartemeyer for Leeper. Now Webb for Hefner. Christian will be called for the double. A good rally, but another that goes the way of the Generals. Guard to serve. Breeden, the setter for Drake. Has it deflected away. Another point for Lynchburg, moving ahead 15-13. I say this every volleyball broadcast, that has got to be the most frustrating feeling for anybody getting a block up. Get your arms, get your hands on it, but ricocheted out of play. Point goes to the other side. Abby Leeper with the service error brings it back to a 1-point differential. Walton takes the third. Laying out was Webb. A missile from Holstead. Right to Breeden, though. Guard pops it up. Webb, Hefner. Again goes at Breeden off the forearms and out of play. We're tied up 15-15. Stat update, hit percentage for the two sides. Lynchburg at 24.4%. Washington and Lee not far behind, right at 20%. An ace for each team. That serve goes right at Abby Leeper, and it's Emma Drake getting the point for the Hornets. Drake has been fantastic all year long. A senior who was second-team all-conference last year. Came in the day with 86 kills. But as of late, last 3 or 4 matches, feels like she is more and more part of the offensive game plan for Lynchburg. Horner from the middle takes the hit. Breeden and Bryce both try to track it down, but nothing to do on that play. Bryce checks out. Flynn Christian, libero, comes back on. Hefner to serve. Goes right to Christian. Breeden feeds Drake, attacks the near side. Guard can't handle it and sends it into the stands. In the first set, Lynchburg was certainly the team in the driver's seat. Things got closer with a 4-0 run late in that opening set from Washington and Lee to make it 25-21. But here in the second set, it's been way more back and forth, but this will help get some breathing room for the Hornets. Now a 2-point advantage. Ace for Maya Green. She had 18 entering today's play. Guard sets up Hefner, taking the shot from the back line. Green for Rucker. Guard for Webb. Allstedt gets it over the block. Soft touch, has it land just before Rucker is able to get more of a hand on it. And that's a fine line to walk. You want to pop it up over the block in front of you, but not too long. You don't want somebody to be able to get there. But Alstead handles the balance really nice. As Washington lead down by just one. Horner with authority on the far sideline. Lynchburg gets the point right back. We talked about with Princess Salafu out, the role for Horner is that much bigger. But she has been able to answer the call today. Now serving is Bartemeyer. Sokolow takes the third. Christian forced to lay out. Leaper taking the hit. Blocked by Alstead. Now it's Blaine getting the kill for the Generals. And when they have used that middle hitter, Katie Blaine, they have done really job, they being Washington Lee. You feel like the offense becomes that much more efficient when Blaine is in the mix. Fifth in the conference with 32.1% hit percentage. Serve goes to the one. Bartemeyer has it sent to the rafters, deflects off the ceiling, and comes back down too quick for Lynchburg to reset. Buckles again serves. Christian for Rucker. Generals set up the offense. Sokolow has it go off the arms of Christian, and the Generals back in front, 20-19. Bartemeyer fields the serve. Leaper takes the hit and ties it up 20-all. Now it's Flynn Christian at the service line. Trying to attack through the near side is Washington and Lee. Unsuccessfully on that attempt. He'll have a chance to reset. Guard for Sokolow. Up from Leaper. And just barely gets out across the sideline. You don't want it going over on that first 10. It wasn't necessarily the cleanest play, but it was really close on the near sideline. Lynchburg faithful in attendance, trying to make the argument that it was down. Argument falls to deaf ears. Leaper. Guard lays out. Well defended by Lynchburg. Leaper attacks guard again and gets the tying 21st point. Green and Rucker out. In comes Breeden and Drake. We talked about in the first set, once you get to 20, it's a race to 25. Things get that much more entertaining with both teams are hitting 20, and now we're tied up 21-all. Webb sets up the middle hitter, Blaine. Drake on the near side. Hits it again into the net. We've seen that happen a couple times now. Not often we see the senior struggle with those hitting errors, but it has caught rise a few times tonight. Caroline guard looking to go on a run for Washington and Lee. Breeden for Leaper. Deflected and down. These two teams back and forth as back and forth gets, trading points. Bartemeyer out, in comes Josie Walton with Abby Leaper heading to the service line. Sokolow takes the hit. Breeden wants Walton. Initially ruled long, but they'll say deflected at the net. Hornets move ahead, 23-22. And a timeout called by Brian Snyder. Well, in a spot like this, you have to call a timeout there if you're Coach Snyder. Got to try to reset. Got to get the crowd to lower their energy as they attempt the wave here in Turner Gym. but a chance where you're trying to settle things down. You're down by a point, but got to win by 2, obviously, and anything can happen. We've seen Washington in the lead go on 4 runs multiple times tonight, and that's what you're looking for here, essentially. You really only need the 3-0 run if you want to be as efficient as possible. But it comes down to a little bit better on the receiving side. We've seen some issues over the past couple of points. Communication. Also, give credit to the Lynchburg attack. The hit percentage coming into tonight is sitting at 14%. That mark has risen throughout the duration of this contest. A lot of credit to Josie Walton. Emma Drake has had some problems finding and hitting into the net, but overall, she still brings a big presence on the right side, outside. She's been moved in a couple of different places. I haven't seen Corey May, but once she checks in, you have to account for her as well, but primarily it's been Walton, Leeper, and Drake carrying the load for a very efficient attack from either side for Lynchburg. It's also a chance here out of the timeout. Coach Snyder talking about what they can do defensively. And then if they get the point back at the serve, who they want to target from the service line. Sokolow forced to send it over on the 3rd. Breeden for Drake. Denied. Leeper for Walton. Dug up. Really nice play there from Hefner. Christian for Breeden. Now out wide. Walton misses long. All tied up, 23 apiece. And this is exactly what you wanted. If you're a Washington Lee fan, you get the side out. Now, the next 2 points have got to be yours. It's Webbs at the service line. Leeper on the 3rd, misses long. Set point for the Generals. Webb looking to close it out, but first a timeout called by Coach Givens. And now we have a role reversal here as Coach Brian Snyder was calling a timeout with his team down a point, looking to reset, come up with an answer on the defensive side, and then potentially go on a run. Once you have the serve, now it's Coach Givens trying to do the same thing. Trying to talk about what they need to do on the defensive side, an adjustment potentially in the works. And then once you get the serve back, if you're able to get this point, tie it up 24 all, who are you trying to attack on the service? Some of the things that could be discussed here. Also communication, a big part of it, especially in volleyball, with every sport, but volleyball in specific. 6 players got to occupy so much space. It can obviously be challenging. So talking about whose assignments where and how you want to rotate as the point goes forward. Hornets come out of the huddle. Trailing by a point, 24-23. This match has not disappointed. Lynchburg takes the first, 25-21. Generals a point away from taking the second, tying this match up 1-all. Generals break out of the huddle. And Ashley Webb will serve, looking to close out the second set. Junior sends it long across the end line. What a play from Abby Leeper. That's such a tough decision to make in the snap of a finger. Is it going to be in? Is it going to be out? Leeper trusts her instincts, and we're tied up 24-24 with Nicole Bryce set to serve for Lynchburg. Freshman sends it right at Sokolow. Webb sets up. Hefner denied. But they'll say a player underneath and across the line. So it's the Generals getting the point. And they lead 25-24. Hefner sends it at Leeper. Breeden for Drake. Guard for Alstead, and into the net it goes. So on a couple of chances to close out the second set, take note of a service error and a hitting error. for Washington and Lee. Missed opportunities to win the second set. And especially if Lynchburg's able to string together a couple points here and win it, those are some big costly errors that Washington and Lee will look at on the tape and see as potential missed opportunities. Doesn't help when missed chances go back the other way. Error from Maya Green. And it's set point again for Washington and Lee. Crowd on its feet. McSwain serves to Christian. Green for Walton. Here comes Washington and Lee. Getting the point is Sokolow. Generals take the second, 27-25. We're tied up in this match. One set apiece. It has not disappointed. You can't go anywhere. Why would you miss the rest of this one? Has not disappointed yet. We'll step aside and come back with the third between the Hornets and the Generals, coming to you on LHSN.
Hi, Mara Willis. How are you? Pretty good.
A lot of people go to the universities to find something to be a part of while getting their education. And when you come here, Lynchburg is that something, it becomes a family. It doesn't matter how long ago you had your professor, they still remember you and they remember all of the hard work that you put in. They're always there for you and they always want to do the best that they can to help you succeed. Here you learn how to love one another regardless of what's going on or what you believe. You leave here better than what you came in. It's what this school's really good at doing.
Okay. You're good.
Look what you're missing!
It really don't matter to me, I'm just happy to be here, I might go crazy.
Welcome back to the campus of the University of Lynchburg. One set apiece between the Hornets and the Washington and Lee Generals. First set goes the way of Lynchburg, 25-21. Washington and Lee takes the second, 27-25. As close as it gets, and the stats would reflect that all the same. 35 kills for Lynchburg to 25 for Washington and Lee. The hit percentage for the Hornets, 22.5% to 21.8% for the Generals. Did see a few errors there, service errors. Lynchburg with 4, Washington and Lee with 3. And then Washington and Lee with 3 receiving errors to 2 for Lynchburg. No blocking error for either team so far. But hey, it's been back and forth, and the energy in here has gone a long way to just build up the atmosphere. It's a Code Red night, so a lot of student athletes and students in general coming out wearing red shirts and hoodies all alike. And they're filling up the brand new bleachers here at Wayne Profit Court. First time we've had a large student audience able to attend and take advantage of the new bleachers. That's super exciting as well. It's also Cystic Fibrosis Night recognizing a disease that Josie Wall and her brother both fight. And it's a persistent lung, or a disease that causes persistent lung infections and limits the ability to breathe over time. They actually have t-shirts on sale. And then next week is their breast cancer awareness night. So that t-shirt also available out in the lobby. So a couple of fun themes. All bears a good crowd on hand for a really fun match to watch so far. Lynchburg coming back out of the locker room, looking to reset, to drop in that second set to Washington Lee. Meanwhile, the Generals looking to keep things going. Lynchburg has not beaten Washington Lee since 2016, and overall, since Brian Snyder has been the head coach of the Generals, 22 years, keep in mind, he is 27-3 all time against the Hornets. Those losses coming in 2016, 2010, and the year 2000. Leading the way individually, most kills for Washington Lee goes to Val Sokolow, I beg your pardon, with 9. And for assists, 21 already for Ashley Webb. Meanwhile, for Lynchburg, most kills belongs to Josie Walton with 10, followed by Abby Leeper and Emma Drake, both with 8. The assists, fairly even. Taylor Breeden has 19, and Maya Green has 12. Both teams back out onto the court. And we're getting ready for the third set between the Generals and the Hornets. Lynchburg looking to play spoiler and take down the preseason pick to win the conference. And a team that is 4-0 inside ODAC play. Washington Lee gets the serve with guard having the honors. Emma Drake has it picked up by Buchholz, then plays it over on the third. Breeden, back set, Drake sends it all the way back towards the 6. Sokolow is there, dug up by Christian. Leeper takes the hit, laying out his guard, nice play. Sokolow tries again, denied once again by Christian. Really nice defensive effort from the senior. Buchholz lays out on the third. Able to get over by Hefner. Lynchburg, really nice defensive sequence to keep it alive. Hefner has it blocked, but it stays in on the Lynchburg side. Generals score the first point of the third set. So guard back to serve once again. Sent to Christian. Breeden wants Bryce. Hefner denied. She'll try once again. Blocked by Bryce a second time. And make it a third. A long rally results in a big first point to the third set for Lynchburg. And the play of Nicole Bryce again standing out. Abby Leeper to serve. Goes at the 6. Sokolow there to pick it up. They're going to replay this one. They got caught up on the far side of the net. So still 1-1 with Leeper. Doing it all over again. Serve goes to guard. Webb sets up Hefner. Deflected out of play. Substitutions. Buchholz is out. Alstead comes in. Webb serving for the Generals. Walton takes the hit and blocked. Nice play from Maggie McSwain. Helped out by Carson Alstead. Junior from California sends it to Christian. Breeden feeding Drake. And gets a point for Lynchburg. And the common denominator is Lynchburg is trying to attack Val Sokolow, both with serves and attacks. The serve is down just over the head of Sokolow. Trying to decide, is it in, is it out? Similar to what we talked about late in that second set for Abby Leeper. Leeper able to guess right, guess for lack of a better term, that it was going to go out. This time Sokolow on the other end of the spectrum. And has Lynchburg tie it up. Alstead has it blocked partially at the net. Leaper from the back line takes the hit. They'll feed Alstead once again. After being blocked at the net, it goes out of play. Point for Washington and Lee, moving ahead 4-3. Sydney Hefner at the line. Goes at Leaper. Breeding to Drake, dug up by guard. Off the top of the tape it goes. Hefner with just enough oomph behind it to have it roll over and land down for the 5th point of the 3rd set for the Generals. Really nice serve there from Hefner. Looked like it was going to make it to the back line, and it sort of knuckled and died out a little bit right in the middle of the Lynchburg defense. Not much the Hornets could have done there. It's a 6-3 Generals lead in the 1st set before the Hornets really took over and led the way the rest of that opening set of play. Drake blocked, and it stays in. Generals on a bit of a roll with Hefner at the service line. It's a 4-0 run. Sophomore looking for more. No pun intended. Off the top of the tape and down. And a 5-0 run results in a timeout called by Coach Givens. Generals, the early winners of this 3rd set, dictating the pace and certainly have the momentum on their side. Overall, that Washington Lee offense is just executing at a high level. The likes of Hefner as well as Sokolow did a good job putting it down, executing their hits here in the 3rd set. So far, 27.3% hit percentage, the best of the match for Washington Lee. Obviously a small sample size, just 4 kills in this 3rd set of play. Lynchburg already out of the huddle after calling a timeout. Coach Snyder relays the last few words. It's a really big, decisive 3rd set. Washington, the Lee Generals can storm back, take the 3rd, and move ahead 2-1. Feel like they're in the driver's seat, potentially close it down in the 4th. Meanwhile, Lynchburg looking to overcome the 5-point deficit, and if they do that, momentum's certainly on their side, and then you're feeling good about them being able to close it down in the 4th. Last time Lynchburg beat the Generals back in 2016 in 5 sets, so we might see it go the full distance as well. Hefner serves right to Christian. Breeden the setter. Walton into the net. Third error, the 3rd set already. Warner plays it over on the 3rd. Webb has all set, and a thunderous strike off the arms of Leaper and out of play. A 7-0 Washington and Lee run. Longest we've seen from either team today. Drake looking to break it. Won't do so on this attempt. Sokolow misses long. Hornets down by 6, a big point there, and now they get to go on the run of their own. Maya Green heads to the line. She had a big service error at the end of the 2nd set when we were tied up 24-all. Sokolow fields the serve and goes soft on the 3rd. Walton back to guard. Webb for Alstead. Deflected into the far side bleachers. Another point for the Generals. Maggie McSwain serving now. Green for Sophia Rucker. Rucker gets a big point for Lynchburg. Jordan Bartemeyer, I beg your pardon, comes in for Josie Walton, and Bartemeyer will serve. Sends it all the way back to the 6. Webb gets it over after the hit from Alstead, or I should say Alstead gets it over after the pass from Webb. And it was at the net for a moment. Lynchburg couldn't get it back up. So WNL up by 7. Buchholz to serve. A freshman from Portland, Oregon. Rucker misses long on the far side. Lynchburg looking to get the energy back up to where it was in the first 2 sets. But it's tough when this Washington and Lee team gets going like they are right now, clicking on all cylinders. It is a tough beast to slow down, but this will help. Sokolow missing just wide of the near sideline. It's now 13-6. Senior Flynn Christian attacking Sokolow. Kill from Katie Blaine. Said in the second set, I'll say it again. When Washington and Lee incorporates Blaine into a good mix of the offensive attack, makes the outside hitters' jobs that much easier, makes that attack that much more potent. That's already pretty scary, because Hefner is as good as it gets inside the ODAC, as is Carson Alstead. Like what I've seen from her tonight. Leeper, no slouch herself, gets the point for the Hornets. Really pretty set coming from Breeden, Maya Green as well. Green will check out and Breeden comes in and will serve for the Hornets. Emma Drake is also back in the mix. (14-8) now. This one's deflected out off the Generals. Breeden looks to build a run for Lynchburg, cut into that 6-point deficit. Serve picked up by guard. The slide. Blaine is blocked. Guard able to get it over. Breeden tries to be sneaky on the second. Washington Lee is there. And a monstrous strike from Hefner just barely stays in. Hefner came in today with the most kills inside the ODAC, 191. And she has added 9 more at 200 on the season, including tonight's play. Leeper gets the point back for Lynchburg. Leeper back to the line, sends it to Sokolow. Set up by Webb. Hefner goes soft. Breeden's there. Christian for Walton. 11th kill on the night for Josie Walton. Just moving her ahead of Leeper with 10. It's down to a 5-point deficit. Hefner has it sent right at Breeden. Taking the third is Drake and missing along on the far sideline. Fifth error already for Lynchburg. They had 7 in the first, 8 in the second. Serve goes at Leeper. Drake sets up Walton. Webb plays for Hefner, denied by Bryson Drake. Webb gets it over on the third after Washington Lee forced to reset. Drake denied. Maggie McSwain with the block. Washington Lee up 17-10. Another timeout called by Coach Hannah Givens. And if you're going to turn around, now has to be the point. Generals knocking on the door of that 20-point mark here in the third set. Talked about it twice already. Once you get to 20, it's a race to 25. In this third set, the oddball sticking out compared to how close the first and the second set played. You could say the first set wasn't necessarily as close. The second set definitely the most narrow margin between the two teams. Ultimately, the first set goes 25-21 Lynchburg. But there were points where it was an 8-point advantage for the Hornets over the Generals. Then a late 4 run coming from Washington Lee narrowed it down to a 4-point deficit to close the first set. Now a 7-point differential in the third set. It's been a combination of Washington Lee executing on the offensive side, already 9 kills, and then the 6 errors already for Lynchburg. Those two things mounting together, not a good-looking equation if you're a Hornets fan, but one you'll certainly take if you're rooting for the Generals. No timeouts left for Coach Givens. Coach Snyder has both of his in his back pocket if he needs it here in the third. Washington and Lee has Ashley Webb at the line, looking to build upon a big lead in the third set, carry the momentum into the fourth to potentially close it down and come down with a big road win. This is a step in that direction. An ace for Webb as it goes right through the hands of Christian. Washington Lee 7 points away from making it a 2-1 set lead. Set to the 5 and Leaper. Breeden barely able to avoid the net. Olstead denied. Big block for Josie Walton. Walton has 11 kills. And there gets her first block on the night. Nicole Bryce also has a block on the evening. She's at the service line. Olstead pushes it to Breeden. Leaper has Drake, denied. And after 3 hits, Lynchburg can't fish it out of the net. Generals moving ahead 19-11. Walton tools the block. 19-12. Rucker and Green back in for the Hornets. Coming in for Breeden and Drake. It's been that same rotation all season long. Breeden to serve, goes at guard. Receiving error, makes it 19-13. Again, the serve goes at guard. Webb sets up Olstead. Gets it past Christian. We've now hit that 20-point mark. Can the Generals get to 25 quickly, or will the Hornets make it a steep mountain to climb? McSwain serves. Walton gets the point. She looked a little surprised that ball hit the hardwood. Just found a perfect opening right in the middle of the Generals' defense. Walton out, Bartemeyer in to serve. Bartemeyer missing long on the service. Unforced error puts Washington Lee back up by 7. Olstead checks out. Allie Buchholz comes in her spot and will have the honors to serve. No kills, no assists. 7 aces coming in tonight, 100 digs. Big point earned by Alexis Horner. Middle blocker makes it a 6-point deficit. He puts Flynn Christian on the line. Webb for Sokolow. Another kill for the senior from Utah. Sokolow now tied with Hefner for the most on the night with 10 for the Generals. Sokolow to serve, right at Bartemeyer. Green for Leaper. And now towards the end of the third set, we're starting to see these two teams find that equal state of being. Going back and forth, trading points from one side to another. We've been holding at this 6-7 point differential since that second timeout from Coach Givens. Bryce plays it back to the middle of the court. Drake gets it over on the third. Nice play from Ashley Webb. Haven't seen her do it all night long, but on the second, plays it sneaky and puts the Generals up 23-16. Guard serving. Breeden sets. Leaper sends it right back to the libero. Hefner on the near side. Goes right at Christian. Breeden for Drake. Tipped and out of play. 23-17. Need a long run if you're a Lynchburg fan. Leaper goes at Sokolow. Webb with the slide coming from McSwain, and it stays in. The Lynchburg faithful voiced their displeasure, but I have to think that ball did stay in on the end line. Set point for Washington and Lee. Webb with a chance to close it down. Christian for the dig. Bryce. And then a lift from Drake on the other end gives the third set to Washington Lee, 25-17, and the Generals move ahead 2-1 over Lynchburg. Can the Hornets stay alive? Can they force a fifth? Don't go anywhere. Find out as we head to the fourth. You're watching Lynchburg and Washington and Lee on LHSN. Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium, Wayne Profit Court. Washington and Lee moves ahead of Lynchburg 2-1. Aaron Farina rejoins us, and what were some of the big takeaways you had after that third set?
I think that the biggest thing, it's just, at this point, it's lack of energy, you know? I mean, we saw Lynchburg has kind of picked up a lot of that momentum. And I mean, it's showed in the last 2 sets. The Generals are up 2-1 right now. And I mean, it's going to take a lot for the Hornets to get back on top. Obviously not impossible. We've seen it happen before, and it happens all the time. So they just need to gather a little bit more of that momentum that they had in the first set and the beginning of that second set, and they'll be golden. They'll be right back in it.
And hopefully they do, so we can see a 5th set. I'm not ready for this match to be done just yet. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us. 2 teams out of the huddle. And we'll see if Washington and Lee can close it down in the 4th, or will Lynchburg be able to stay alive and force the decisive 5th set. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You're watching LHSN Wednesday night volleyball action. One of 2 LHSN games in action tonight. Women's soccer over on Schellenberger Field, playing host to Mary Washington. So after this game, or match I should say, comes to a close, you can go ahead and switch on over and catch the tail end of that one. Lynchburg will have the serve to start. Braden, a sophomore from Purcellville, Virginia, gets the 4th set underway. Hefner adds another point to her stat line. The Generals move ahead 1-0. Serve goes right to Leaper. Drake takes the hack on the other side. Has it ricocheted off the block. Lynchburg ties it up. Looking at some of the key takeaways in that 3rd set, Lynchburg by far their lowest hit percentage in the 3rd set, 9.7% compared to over 20% in the first 2 sets each. Another point here for Washington and Lee. And then for the Generals, that hit percentage in the 3rd set, nearly 30% after going 20 and then 23% or thereabout in the 1st and 2nd set respectively. Serve comes from Webb. A strike from Walton, misses long. We also did see a fair amount of errors, 7 more in the 3rd set for Lynchburg. They had 7 in the 1st, 8 in the 2nd. Compare that to Washington and Lee. They had 5 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, 4 in the 3rd. A receiving error here for the Hornets makes it 4-1 Generals. Serve goes at Christian. Walton takes the hit from the far side. Halstead for Washington and Lee. Dug up by Drake, the 3rd. Sent over by Walton. Webb looking for Hefner. Christian lays out. Now Drake on the near side. Misses strong, across the back line. So far here in the early goings of the 4th set, the energy's still on the side of Washington and Lee. Breeden setting up Walton. And another hitting error. Washington and Lee up by 5. Webb continues to work from the service line. 5-0 Generals run. Halstead denied, and that snaps the run on cue. Nicole Bryce serves to Sokolow. Miscommunication. It looked like the set from Webb was set up for McSwain. Maybe mistimed her jump. You also had Halstead flying in from the back. Actually, it might have been Hefner. But she wasn't really in a position to take that swing. Hefner in the right position that time. And you might have felt that through your screen. And Hefner makes contact. Look out below. 5'10" sophomore from Nashville. 22.5% hit percentage. And she's looked all that she was advertised and then some. Her and Webb, the setter to outside hitter combo. Very dangerous one to say the least. Alexis Horner, the middle hitter, gets the point right back for the Hornets. It's now 7-4. And Horner filling in for Princess Salafu, doing an admirable job tonight. Game of the night with just 12 kills on the season. But that kill, already her 6th. So increasing that mark by 50% already. Still some volleyball left to be played. Sokolow mishits this one and sends it in the net. Maya Green back to serve, looking to make it a 3-0 Lynchburg run. Service error makes it 8-5 Washington in lead. 6th service error on the night for the Hornets. Where that's just 3 for Washington and Lee. And volleyball, especially in a match so closely decided in the first couple of sets, and even in moments in the third, those little errors and those slight margins make a huge difference. Looked like Horner taking the hit, had it deflected away by the Generals. The deficit is back to 2. Serve goes to guard. Webb on the near side. Sokolow has it dug up by Green. Christian plays for Leeper. Misses maybe 6 inches past the back line. (9-6) with Buchholz to serve. Green for Leeper. Blocked. Katie Blaine. Wasn't a hard hit shot. And Blaine elevating and taps it back down. But Washington lead up by 4. And a little break in the action as they're going to wipe down the hardwood. Credit to Caroline Gard, a junior from Naperville, Illinois. The mopping duties for the Generals. Might have to add that into the stat column. Jokes aside, play now getting back underway. Green again goes to Horner. Lynchburg resets, Rucker denied. And getting it out of the net, Horner got it up, but nobody there for the second. Buchholz serves and Leeper fields it. It goes off the top of the ceiling. And it looked like Leeper might have gone to it. But they're going to say, they being their officials tonight, saying that hit the hardwood instead. A timeout called by Coach Givens, the first of 2 she can use in the 4th set. 12-6, Washington and Lee out in front of Lynchburg. Not the start to this 4th set that the Hornets would have desired. And after winning the first set, it was a narrow second set win for Washington and Lee if you missed it. 27-25 in that second set. First set was 25-21, Lynchburg's favor. But in the 3rd set, a decisive win for Washington and Lee, and that momentum has carried over certainly into the 4th set. And the Generals looking to stay perfect in ODAC play at 5-0. They would also improve to 13-3 overall and make it 4 consecutive match victories. Meanwhile, Lynchburg needs to overcome the deficit in the 4th to force the 5th. A win will make them winners of 4 of their last 5 and improve them to 4-2 in ODAC play. But they certainly got some climbing to do Down by 6. Both teams out of the huddles. It'll be Buchholz to serve once again. It's a 4-0 Washington and Lee run. Serve goes at Christian. Green steps over the line and walks to the net as well. 5-0 WNL run. Leaper fields the serve. Rucker takes the hit. Should be called the lift as she was blocked and comes right back into her stomach, and there's just nothing you could do with it after that. Good job for Washington and Lee getting the block up. They've been really tough to attack with a really good block. Here, another shot deflected, but it goes out of play. So a point for Lynchburg. Ends the 6-0 Washington and Lee run. Christian to serve. Sokolow gets the set from Webb. And the block from Nicole Bryce and Sophia Rucker. And that could be the spark to give some energy to the rest of this Lynchburg squad. Good low serve from Christian. It's a 3-0 Hornets run. Washington and Lee, a couple of passing miscues there. Ultimately just couldn't mount anything and get it over. Serve this time goes to Hefner. Lofts it over on the third. Green for Bryce. Middle hitter. Drops the deficit down to 4. Webb sets up Hefner. And we talked about how good the Washington and Lee block's been. Well, Lynchburg's block has not been bad either. Sophia Rucker and Nicole Bryce teaming up to get the job done there. Service error from Christian brings to close the 5-0 run. But that was exactly what Lynchburg needed. At least cut the deficit down to 4. A side out away from keeping that momentum on your side. Bryce denied, tries again, and there's your side out. Bryce sticking with it, being resilient. The lead for WNL down to 3. Breeden will serve. Looked like Blaine might have been in the net. Not called for it. Big point for Washington and Lee, looking to reassert themselves. Get momentum back on their side. Guard sends to Bartemeyer. Breeden plays for Leaper. Gets the point for the Hornets. It's been Leaper and Walton leading the way. Bartemeyer checking out in favor of the aforementioned Walton. And looking at the kills on the night, Walton with 14, Leaper with 12, and Drake has 11 to go with it. The hit from Hefner missing long. Timeout called by Coach Snyder. Lynchburg getting momentum back on their side, mounting a run, and also the crowd getting back into it as the Hornets had the feeling of that back against the wall. Now create some breathing room, only down by 2 points. We're getting back to where we were in the first and second set, where it was as tight as could be. Third set, 25-17 WNL victory, proving to be, at least as it stands right now, the exception to the rule throughout this match. Coach Snyder looking to get his team back where they were in that dominant third set. And I think it's really interesting. Coach Snyder, the first half of the timeout, the reason he takes the full minute, 15 seconds you get, he doesn't say anything to his team for the first 45. It's all players communicating inside the huddle, and likely seniors and team captains leading the way there. And then once the 30-second mark hits, he'll step in, add some more feedback, a few more critiques, and then the team comes out of the huddle. And every time Coach Snyder has called a timeout, you've seen a better WNL squad then take the court and make those adjustments into a play. Now, it doesn't always result in long runs like it did towards the end of the second set and definitely in the third. But even in the first set, when Coach Snyder used both his timeouts as a way to try to just get the momentum away from Lynchburg and bring the game back to an even state, for a point or two, you saw Washington Lee make those adjustments and be able to get to where they want. Hefner takes the swing, gets the point. And as I was saying, out of those timeouts, Washington Lee has always come out as a better team. Buchholz out, in comes Carson Alstead. Buchholz will serve. Goes at Leaper. Breeden setting for Drake. She gets her 12th kill. Bryce serves at Sokolow. Alstead takes the hit, deflected up by Horner. Breeden pushes it over to Walton. Guard, wanted Hefner, she finds the net instead. A 1-point differential, the closest it's been since WNL took the lead in the first set, 2-1. Drake, big block coming from Maggie McSwain. And now it's Sydney Hefner heading to the line. Team best 14 kills tonight. Also has 2 aces, time for a team best, time for second most for the Generals. Leading the way there is Allie Buchholz with 3. Dug up by Breeden. Christian gives way to Drake. Guard starts the possession. Hit comes from Sokolow. And it goes off of Walton, then Leaper. The Generals create some breathing room and move ahead by 3. Green called for the double. And the race to 25 is on. Hefner serves once more. Breeden setting for Walton as it go right to guard. Back set, Alstead denied. Horner and Walton there to set up the block. Down by 3, you need a long run. If you're a Lynchburg fan, Maya Green will start it with the serve. Short serve, dug up by guard. Sokolow tools the block off of Rucker. Now it's Maggie McSwain. Both coaches still with a timeout in their pocket. Green sets up a perfect hit coming from Walton. If you give her the same side she's on, consider the play done. Lynchburg again down by 3. The freshman Bartemeyer in a big spot here. Goes at Hefner, deflected off the ceiling. Sokolow gives back to Hefner, can't get it over. 2-point differential. Dug up by Hefner. Soft touch from Sokolow. Green gets it over on the second. Blaine comes in. Rucker keeps it alive, as does Green on the third. Great defensive stand, and the hit misses long. Wayne Profit court, about to lose its ceiling. Bartemeyer with a service error. That one's a killer. No timeout here from Coach Givens. If Washington at least scores, though, venture to see Coach Givens use that final timeout. Buchholz has 3 aces, the most on the night for Washington and Lee. Christian gets it over on the third hit. Webb, Sokolow slams it down. And Coach Givens will indeed call a timeout. Generals 2 points away from coming away with a victory in 4 sets. Meanwhile, Lynchburg needs a side out here and then to go on a run to try to steal the 4th set back, force the 5th, that would then go to 15. It's been a fun one all night long. Thank you all for spending your Wednesday night here with us. One of 2 LHSN broadcasts going on tonight. Volleyball playing host to Washington and Lee. Meanwhile, it's soccer playing host to Mary Washington over on Schellenberger Field. Hornets come out of the huddle. As I said, needing a stop here. Meanwhile, now Coach Snyder relaying his critiques to his squad as the Generals couple points away from improving to 5-0 in conference action. While we have a moment, the upcoming slate for both sides. After today, Lynchburg will spend this upcoming Saturday a tri-match taking on Marymount and Stevenson. Washington and Lee, they spend Saturday taking on Shenandoah and CNU. Buchholz serves to Christian. Set from Green. Kill from Leeper. There's the stop. Is there a run to follow? It starts with Flynn Christian. Serve goes at Hefner. Webb, Sokolow, dug up by Christian. Sliding is Bartemeyer. Leeper goes right at Sokolow, who then takes the third. Green, Leeper tries again. Just barely tipped back over the net. Leeper tries again, goes soft. Sliding against Buchholz. Cross-court set. Sokolow denied. They'll try Hefner from the back line. Off the arms of Green. Match point for WNL. Green for Leeper, looking to stay alive. Hefner has it go over. And in the toss-up at the net, Washington and Lee gets the best of Nicole Price and the Hornets, taking the 4th set 25-21 and winning the match 3-1. So the Hornets fall to 5-8 on the season, 3-3 in ODAC play. But that said, had a hard-fought battle with the preseason pick to win the conference. And Aaron Farina is going to join us now. Despite Lynchburg coming up with the loss tonight, you battled maybe the best team inside the ODAC and gave them all they had until the very end. And maybe other than the 3rd set, put together a really strong showing against the Generals.
Absolutely. I mean, Washington and Lee, they do a really good job of remaining consistent. You know, there are not really a whole lot of highs in their games, but there aren't a whole lot of like low playing times in their games either. And Lynchburg just needs to, like we've said before, find a little bit more of that consistency. I think they did a much better job tonight than they have in any of their games this past season. Unfortunately, they just took a little too long to turn it on in this last set.
Meanwhile, for Washington and Lee, real quick, they got better as the match went on. And once the cylinders get going, this team is going to be tough to slow down.
Absolutely. I mean, Washington and Lee has a lot of really strong hitters. They've got a really tall offense. They've got a tall block at the net. And they've got really consistent passes. I think that's Washington and Lee's biggest strong suit, you know, just consistency across the board.
Both these teams will be in action on Saturday. The Hornets taking on Marymount and Stevenson. Washington and Lee taking on Shenandoah and CNU. But that's going to do it for us from Wayne Prophet Court. For Aaron Farina, my director, Nathaniel Pierce, and the rest of our LHSN production crew, my name's TJ Wingert. And until next time, we are signing off.